Good evening. I'm Ali Rogan. John Yang is away. Millions turned out across the country today for a coordinated day of protest against President Donald Trump and his administration's policies. Organizers expected more than 2,600 No Kings rallies in big cities and small towns across all 50 states and some European capitals, including Paris, London, Madrid, and Berlin. A similar event in June brought out more than 5 million demonstrators across the country, but this time organizers said the mobilization was even bigger. Today's protests spanned the nation and other parts of the globe. Massive crowds turned out in major cities, including New York, Washington, D.C., Boston, and Chicago. Demonstrators also gathered in tiny towns like this one in rural Virginia and across the country. They all shared a singular message.
Simple words, no kings.
We want to show our support for democracy and for fighting what is right.
Protesters named immigration raids and President Donald Trump's deployment of the National Guard to certain cities among the reasons they came out.
He should not be able to conduct these overreaches of his power, invading cities.
As an immigrant here in Germany, it's really important to me that America was founded on immigrants, by immigrants, and the fact that they are trying to shut that out and rewrite history is a really big deal.
President Trump's allies criticized the rallies as gatherings of extremists. On Friday, House Speaker Mike Johnson said they showed how fringe the political left had become.
If you think about what's going to happen here tomorrow, you're going to bring together the Marxists, the socialists, the Antifa advocates, the anarchists, and the pro-Hamas wing of the far-left Democrat Party. That is the modern Democratic Party. That's where they've gone.
But on streets across America, the crowds were energized. What organizers said was a large-scale exercise in peaceful protest. For more now on those protests, we turn to Robert Weissman, co-president of Public Citizen, a consumer advocacy group that is one of the protest organizers. Robert, thank you so much for being here. You just got back from the D.C. rally downtown from your office. How was it?
It was awesome. We had hundreds of thousands of people on the street to protest Donald Trump's authoritarianism. It was passionate and it was joyful. There was a dance party on the steps of the Labor Department. There were people in inflatable costumes. There were hysterical signs. But there was a really clear message that we intend to defend our democracy by exercising our democratic rights. We're not capitulating to Donald Trump and his authoritarianism and his effort to scare us into submission.
And as we mentioned, the turnout today was anticipated to be bigger than the No Kings protests that were held in June, with more people attending and more rallies across the country. Why do you think that is?
I think there's two things going on. I think that Trump's authoritarianism is getting worse and mobilizing more people. But I think his effort to intimidate is failing as well. And each time people turn out, each time people protest, each time people stand up, it makes it easier for the next set of people to do that. So we think that today, when all is said and done, it will have been the largest day of protest in American history, all to defend our democracy, oppose the ICE raids, oppose the National Guard on our streets, oppose the illegal firings of federal employees, opposing the illegal shutdown of agencies, and more. People want a government that works for us, not for Donald Trump and his oligarch friends.
Yeah, you mentioned some of the issues that drove people out today. I'm wondering what you've been hearing from folks participating in the rally in D.C., all over the rest of the country. What are people motivated by individual issues? Are they motivated by the overall approach of this administration, or have you found it to be a combination of factors?
Yeah, I think it's both. I mean, I think people are really worried about the fate of our country and understand that in total, what Trump is trying to do is take away our democracy and replace it with authoritarian regime. So some people may be more motivated by the pressure on universities or by the illegal abductions of immigrants or by the deployment of the National Guard or by the shutdown of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau that's protecting us from financial fraudsters or by the weaponization of the Department of Justice. But everybody understands whatever the thing that gets them going, it's all part of a bigger tapestry of this authoritarian agenda, and they're ready, willing, and passionate about standing up to it.
As you well know, Republicans, other allies of President Trump, have been criticizing these rallies. Speaker Mike Johnson referred to it as a Hate America day of protest, and that it was really there to stand against everything that America stands for. And I wonder, what do you make of that criticism?
Well, it was both ridiculous. We had millions of Americans on the street today from all walks of life, in every state, in every congressional district, in Speaker Johnson's district with 12 different events, all kinds of people. They don't hate America. They love America. But it was shameful, too, because you may disagree with what the protesters are asking for, but you should be embracing and celebrating our right to protest instead of telling us stay home and be quiet, or claiming that we're seeking violence by exercising our First Amendment rights. Protest is what's driven every significant moment of progress in American history, including our independence. And it's protest now that's going to block this authoritarian agenda of Donald Trump.
And what do you want Americans to take away from today's events?
I think what Trump is trying to do is make people feel scared and isolated, and that his agenda is inevitable. And when you see this outpouring of people on the streets, even if you weren't part of it, you should know that you're not alone, that people don't agree with this agenda. And if you didn't join today, join the next one. Find a community organization. There's power in togetherness and in solidarity and in love. And I think that's the way we're going to defeat authoritarianism. That's what the best of what America is when we come together unified. And I think that's what we display today. And people who weren't part of it, join us the next time.
Robert Weissman with Public Citizen, thank you so much.
Thank you.